Here now to discuss the potential role that climate change might have had on the recent tornado outbreaks is director of the Earth System Science Center at Penn State University and author of The New Climate War, The Fight to Take Back Our Planet, Professor Michael Mann. Professor, thank you so much for joining us on Morning Rush. So what role did climate change play in the size and devastation of these tornadoes?
Yeah, thanks. It's good to be with you, but this is a terrible tragedy that we're talking about here. Probably more than 100 lives lost. And, you know, we do have to recognize that we are subject to greater and greater risk because of the aggravating effects of climate change. In this case, if you look at the Gulf of Mexico right now, it's at near record levels of warmth. And we know much of that warmth is due to the warming over the past century from carbon pollution produced by fossil fuel burning. That very warm Gulf produces lots of moisture. The warmer the ocean surface, the more moisture it produces. So that very warm, moist air got funneled into the southern half of the United States. We were looking at 70s and 80s Fahrenheit temperatures over a large part of the midsection of the country. And all of that warm, moist air provides energy. It provides turbulent energy that can be turned into thunderstorms. And we see those squall lines form. You need one more ingredient to get a tornado. You need all that turbulent energy, but you also need spin. You need some source of rotation, and the jet stream provides that. So when this warm, moist air mass comes into contact with the jet stream, you've got the energy, you've got the rotation, you've got the ingredients that you need to produce tornadoes. And what we know is that the intensities of these tornadoes are increasing over time due to the warming, and we're seeing larger and larger outbreaks, maybe as many as 60 tornadoes in this latest outbreak, one of which persisted. Its track extended for more than 200 miles, and what we call the gate-to-gate winds, the difference between the outgoing and incoming winds, more than 300 or about 300 miles per hour. A monster storm will probably end up being an EF5 when they diagnose it.
All those factors you just mentioned, what does that mean for this region in particular moving forward? And what does it mean for Tornado Alley? Is that just that's just a relic of the past?
Yeah, well, you know, it's very interesting. When you look at what's happening, we're seeing a shift in the predominant location of formation of tornadoes, and that's part of the changing atmospheric circulation that we're causing by warming up the planet. So there's a climate change signal there. Now, there's a little bit of good news if you live in parts of Texas or Oklahoma. That sort of tornado alley is shifting away from you. So there's a small region in Oklahoma and Texas where we might see a decrease in tornado activity, but that's at the expense of a very large increase over much of the southeastern United States and south central United States, the states that saw this latest outbreak. We expect them to see more tornadoes, and particularly during the winter, during a different season from when we used to expect them.
And are we going to expect these seasons to last even longer or be more severe?
Well, you know, it gets pretty complicated when you start talking about the number of tornadoes, the intensity of tornadoes. There's uncertainty here. There's uncertainty related to the fact that there's uncertainty in how atmospheric circulation will change and where exactly the wind shear that provides that rotation will increase, where it will decrease. But overall, we know we'll see more intense storms. We'll see larger and more deadly outbreaks. And this is if we stop the warming. People often ask, is this a new normal? A new normal is the best case scenario. That's where we prevent it from getting worse by stabilizing the temperature of the planet, by bringing those carbon emissions down. If we continue to burn fossil fuels and produce more and more carbon pollution, then this all gets worse.
Terrifying prospect there. Professor Michael Mann, Director of Earth System Science Center at Penn State. Thanks so much for this analysis. Good stuff.
Thank you, folks.
Yeah.